Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be sewing Simplicity pattern 1069. This is a great pattern for beginners. I love it. There's no closures to worry about with this skirt. It's just a wrap skirt that we're doing, so no zippers, no buttons to worry about. We're going to be doing view E in this video, which is the shorter version of the skirt. I originally wanted to do view D, but I didn't have enough fabric, so make sure that you check your yardage and get the right amount if you want to do the maxi version of it. The fabric I'm using, I got it from Joann's. It's a rayon challis, and it moved really nice for the wrap skirt. I really love it. Make sure that you do have your instructions close because you need to see the directions that they say do your stay stitching in. So just always have your directions close beside you. So once you have your pattern and your fabric all cut out, let's get started. Okay, so first things first is some stay stitching, and always make sure you have your pattern glossary near you so you can see the arrows that it tells you to put your stay stitching in. And we're going to stay stitch a ½ inch away from the edge. Go ahead and do that for all sides, all edges of your pieces. Go ahead and put stay stitching in them. Next up is on your unnotched edge of your front piece, piece 7. That's my notched edge. So I'm going to go to my unnotched edge and I'm going to form a narrow hem with my hem allowance. So I'm going to fold up my edges and I'm going to fold up to a 5/8 inch. And that's going to be my narrow hem. I'm pinning it all down right here. And then we're going to sew it all down right on the edge. Make sure you backstitch at the end and sew as close as you can to the edge of your hem. Make sure you take your time. Don't roll over your pieces and just get it as close as you can to the edge, nice and neat. Once you're all done, go ahead and give that a good press, and you do that for both sides of your front pieces, which is piece 7. You fold up the hem allowance and you fold it down. So now here's the fun part, putting all your pieces together. And it's 7, 8, 8, 9, 8, 8, 7. So make sure you look at your pattern, your diagram. It shows you your pieces and how they're pinned together. So go ahead and start pinning them pieces. I already pinned up my other half, so I'm just pinning the last piece on camera, which is my last piece 8 and my piece 7. So it's always good to remember to notch too, because once you have them notched, it makes it really easy to put them together. So once you have them all pinned, you can go ahead and sew them all on a 5/8 seam allowance. Make sure that you back stitch at the beginning and the end. Don't roll your pin over your pins, take them out, and just take your time and go all the way down on all pieces. It's a lot, so just take your time and just do all of them. Make sure that you back stitch. Once you're all done, then it's time to give all those seams a press. You can open them up and press them, or you can finish them off and press them. For the video, I'm just gonna press it down. I would normally serge though, you all know me. So next you need to go ahead and fuse your interfacing to your waistband. Mine is already fused. You go ahead and do yours. And once you have it fused, you're gonna find your unnotched edge, the edge that don't have any notches in it. That one has a notch right there, so I'm going to flip it over to the other side, and you need to fold under 5/8 of an inch on your unnotched side, just like that. Go ahead and give that a press. Mine is pressed out right here. I got my unnotched edge pressed, and now we can go ahead and attach our waistband to our skirt, right sides facing. So I have my right sides facing, waistband and the skirt right sides facing. Go ahead and start pinning. Find your notches, find your dots. Pin, pin, pin. No shame in using a lot of pins. Once you're all done pinning, now we can go ahead and stitch it together on a 5/8 inch seam allowance. Remember, when you're sewing, try not to look at your needle and just follow your guide that's on your needle plate. Follow your guide. Get a nice straight seam. Once you're all done, you can trim that down, and you want to press the seam up toward the waistband, not toward the skirt. Press it up toward the waistband. Now we can move on to doing the ties. And for the ties, we're going to put them right sides together, and we're going to sew across the bottom of that one, and we're going to sew it straight down, but then we're going to leave the other bottom open so we can flip it inside out. Go ahead and do that for both of your ties. Again, we're going to sew across the top of one, and then we're going to sew straight down the other, and we're not going to close off the bottom with the dots. We need those that side open so we can flip it, and we need it open so we can attach it to the waistband. So once you're done, go ahead and clip your corners and then give it a good press, Do that for both of your ties. And now we're going to move on to attaching it to the waistband. For attaching to the waistband, you want to attach it so that the tie is raw edges together with the waistband. See how my raw edges together? Go ahead and pin it that way. And then you're going to put a basting stitch in it to hold it. Now we can go ahead and fold the waistband right side down, and then we're going to sew right there. But don't catch the skirt when you sew it, because we need to flip it out. And when we flip it out, you'll have a nice clean edge right there with your tie inside your waistband. So go ahead and do that for both of your waistbands. And now we're going to go ahead and close our waistband down, making sure that we catch that seam allowance inside the waistband. You want to make sure that you're catching it inside. So go ahead and pin your whole waistband down. Once you have it all pinned, you can slip stitch your waistband closed to have a nice invisible stitch, or you can sew it in the Dutch, which is what I'm doing. The pattern guide does say slip stitch though, just so you know. I'm going to sew it in the Dutch. You can choose whatever method works best for you. Sewing in the Dutch is sewing right in that seam so that it's still invisible and you're still catching it, but it's a little quicker than slip stitching. But hey, if you want to work on your hand sewing, go ahead and slip stitch it closed. So once you're all done with your waistband, it should look like that. That's what sewing in the Dutch looks like. It's not supposed to be seen, but I'm using navy thread so you see it. Now you need to go ahead and make your buttonhole in your waistband. You should have made 2 dots when you were cutting out your fabric. Those 2 dots are for the buttonhole, so you can slip your left tie into it when you wrap it around your body. So once you have your buttonhole made, go ahead and open it up. I use my seam ripper to open up my buttonhole, so whatever tool that you use, just be careful not to cut through your threads. The last step is the hem. The directions do say to mark up your hem after you try it on. Mark where you want your hem to be, press it up along those markings, and then you can form a narrow hem to finish off the hem of your skirt. So go ahead and give that a good press wherever you want your hem to be. And then you're going to sew as close as you can to the edge of that seam. Just take your time. Put pins in if need be. Make sure you back stitch at the beginning and the end. And then when you're all done, you should have a nice clean hem. And you can go ahead and give that a press. You're all done with your super cute summer skirt. Go ahead and twirl a little bit and have some fun. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next one. Blessings, everyone. Bye.